And hello, SFL. It's your boy Gee, and I got special guest here, Little Willie.
Hey, Little Willie's here. I'm so excited. Are you
Oh,
guys ready?
oh my God, this is gonna be the best. So, yeah, Little Willie, let's go ahead and break these down. I see Big Willie cut Luke Musgrave, or was that you?
Right, I cut Luke Musgrave last week, and then he got picked up before because I really felt on the Taysom Hill project, and he balled out for me. Didn't win, but he balled out for me last week.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I feel bad for cutting Taysom Hill now. Like I feel like I picked him up the week right before he started getting used.
Yeah, you lost. That's right. You definitely lost.
Mm-mm. What other big activities we have here? Dario Slayton, Chalupa Vagina got for 11. Justice Hill for 6. That's pretty cheap. Young Waku for 5. Brian Hoyer went for 2 to Martial Law. Apparently, 3 people claimed, but nobody wanted to put money on it. Um, the big one, Daryl Henderson for 25. Uh,
Yeah, that surprised Little Willie. And, Dalton Kincaid. I know everybody's like, thinking he's going to be a star over there, but that offense can't do nothing in Buffalo right now. I wouldn't trust anybody to have him. Maybe you guys, maybe Oddie should trade. He should trade me, Diggs and all of his quarterback because he's not any good, and Little Willie can actually make him better.
okay. Little Willie's gonna coach him up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Little Willie's here.
Oh yes, yes. Little Willie can I 100% believe that, Little Willie. Let's there wasn't much on the whole transactions. I paid for Ryan Tannehill and I looked like an idiot because nobody else bid for him. Um
And
that was
I
about
mean,
it.
I thought about it. Little Willie thought about it, but Little Willie didn't need a quarterback, so he didn't do
Let's go ahead and look at last week's game. I'm gonna go ahead and start out here with your game.
it. Mm.
Oh, was it Big Willie's game?
And it was Little Willie's game. Little Willie messed up. Little Willie was worried about McCaffrey starting and not starting, and there was not a lot of news out there that he was going to start. So I made the decision that cost me the game,
Yep.
100%.
Big Truck Little Willie only 190 points versus the Elderly Gangbang with 194. It was 6 touchdowns for the truck to 7 for the Elderly Gangbang. Coming into the week, I thought for sure that you had this win, considering that Holden had a lot of players on bye. Look at this. Prescott, Derrick Henry, Hopkins, all on bye. So I thought, and the fact that you had a better team. But it just slipped away from you guys. I think it was a combination of a poor start sit decision and Holden still having a great game despite his buys.
Yeah, I mean, and a kicker getting 0 points.
and a
I mean, I
kicker
get
getting
I
zero
get two
points.
kicks, I win.
Yeah, or just one long one.
Yeah, yeah, you can get like a 25 points just for a 50-yard field goal.
The 25 points probably in the 80, 90 yard range, but okay. Um, w-
Soon the kicker's going to be scoring 100 points and more than like a top 10 receiver. Okay, I mean Big Willie is really upset about that, but we digress.
this is the what I got out of this game. Okay, we all know that you didn't start McCaffrey, right? And the way I see the reason why you didn't want to start McCaffrey is because you didn't even want to gamble. You thought that you had this game in the bag. You're playing against Holden. You have a better team. Uh, he had bye week, so why even bother with the gamble, right? You had two
Mm-hmm.
options. You either put McCaffrey in your lineup and you have a backup plan for Monday night in case he doesn't play, or you go the safe route. You don't even bother gambling with it. You just put in your other players and you think you're gonna get the win. Am I right?
Well, 100%. I mean, you're thinking, Little Willie is sitting there Monday night, and he needs Addison, who I understand is the number one receiver. Addison needs to score 31 points, who none of his players scored 30 points in the whole week. Little Willie was sitting pretty good. And then he gets the first touchdown, and then that crazy play where he steals the interception, those two plays, it's over. And Little Willie should have won. And then he gets hurt, and then he comes back. The sad thing is, I wish he wouldn't have came back because he would have beat me by point 0.9 or point 0.8, and it would have been worse. I think that Big Willie might have, not been here if that had happened point 0.9. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and then also the fact that your kicker only didn't score a single point, a 0 point for game for a kicker, real
The guy that's
rough.
averaging like 15 points a game. Yeah, 0 points.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And on the other side of the ball, Holden had a great game, despite the fact that his quarterbacks didn't show up. I mean, he had to play Dobbs because his other quarterbacks were on bye, and Dobbs outperformed Tua, who didn't have a good game. But other than that, he had great games from Jonathan Taylor. Goddard had a great game, and then especially Addison. Addison was the one who really blew up with the 36 points, the two touchdown game, 120 yards. Um, yeah, and that win puts him at the top of the league, basically sharing the top spot. Not he's not the top, but he's sharing the top spot of the league with the other 5-2 teams. So congrats, Holden, being at the top. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. Congrats. Congrats. Well, Little Will is gonna go to the martial law and spreading diseases. Victor's team is bad. Yeah, they're very bad. If you look at their team, even his kicker, it sucks right now too, which that's something big too. But his receivers have gave three of his receivers gave him, or two receivers should say, gave him, less than 10 points. And then you go to his running back and B. John Robinson, what they are doing. Oh, that's not Brady John. That's the other one, Brandon Robinson.
That's
Whatever.
Brian Robinson.
He's yeah, Brian. He's starting some people like Madison and Robinson, and they're getting no points. I mean, his team is bad, really bad, and it's not like they're on a bye or anything like that. His team is just bad. They're really bad, and it's going to be free real estate. Victor is free real estate this year. I mean, he's got a 92% coaching rating. He had two touchdowns, and Robert's just lucky that he only had two touchdowns and he played Victor this week. 100%.
I'm actually surprised that Rob got 176 points. Oh, with only two touchdowns. Now I see it now. Yeah, it's a Dustin Hopkins 39-point game. That will do it. That will
Yeah.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but look at all those buys on Rob's side. Oh, he's probably so happy he got the win on this week. He was just so thankful he's played Victor this week instead of anybody else.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to next?
I think I'm gonna do the Campbell soup. Loud noises. I believe
Okay.
this was our game of the week, was it not?
Yeah, that was right because both teams
We're
right
four and
there,
two.
4-2 could make it happen, and I was upset that Campbell Soup won and put me even farther down in the rankings in my own division.
Mm-hmm. That's 8 touchdowns for Campbell soup versus 5 for loud noises, and I think that's where the game was decided. To be honest, they were only separated by 3 points, 179 to 176. With a three-touchdown difference, that will do it. Big game for Darren Waller and Josh Allen on the side of the Campbell Soup here. But players didn't really show up. Other than that, didn't have great yards. It was just a whole bunch of touchdowns. And you could say the reason Loud Noises lost this game is 100% because Bijan Robinson didn't play, and the coach said nothing before the game. There was like
Just so
no
weird.
injury designation, nothing. The guy came in and had 4 snaps, carried the ball once. He was apparently sick, and yeah,
Well, and another one like Calvin Ridley, you know, they score 31 points, and Ridley has one catch.
for five
That is
yards.
crazy.
Yeah,
And he gets two catches, probably with that first down, he wins. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think it was very bad luck for Loud Noses this week.
yeah. And what a waste of a Kelsey game. 49 points from Kelsey, and can't pull the win. That's Minshew on his bench too would have made the difference, and Josh Downs. Josh Downs looking great. That's a shame. Where are you going to next, Willie?
I'm gonna go to your game, the guillotine and my constant diarrhea. You know, the guillotine wins 2 weeks in a row. Good for you. I like it because you beat Kyle, and that helped me out. I mean, Kyle has a huge game from his, Lamar Jackson, and of course, Mark Andrews. Big game. What was that? 80 points. 80 points from the two of them, and he only scored 70 for the rest. Obviously, the kicker thing was a little weird. Almost like he threw in the towel this week. Didn't even put a kicker. I mean, Little Willie didn't have a kicker either. So I guess we we kind of go back and forth. I guess on that, but you know, uh, I was really shocked based upon the scores that you won this week, based because you really just had a bunch of people play and they played basically up to their potential, but you didn't have any like superstars. I mean, we understand, Tyreek is going to get his points. He's going to average 25, 30. But for the most part, your team was just very solid all week. And, Barkley came through for you finally.
Yeah, Barkley's been good when he plays. I was worried because he got hurt at the start of the game, but seemed to be nothing too serious. He managed to come back. I think he hyperextended his elbow, is what he said, or is what was said later. But he came back and was fine. Honestly, it was just poor games for my quarterbacks that kept my point score so low. Herbert is normally scoring around 30. Purdy is normally scoring around 28 points per game, and they both underperformed big. But I think it's an underperforming week from all quarterbacks this week. It seemed like there weren't many quarterbacks that did well. And
And I'm worried about Kyle with his running back situation because you got Gainwell, Perrine. I mean, he's got no number one running
yeah,
back,
yeah,
and I mean he started three running backs this week, and so that's a little worrisome too.
yeah. Well, it was his team was on buys big time, and he's also got these injuries. Anthony Richardson was his quarterback, got hurt. A Chain was the guy he was hoping for. Charbonnet got hurt too. Yeah, it was just a rough week for Kyle in general, with all those injuries. And I'll go ahead and take this Magic Skull Bus game here. Very close game, 177 to 172. Going the Skull Bus way. Six touchdowns for our commissioner versus seven touchdowns for erectile dysfunction with a lollipop here. And the big thing that made this game was Deshaun Watson throwing a pick and getting taken out of the game. Love to see it. That's rough. And on the other side, Mahomes with the 56-point game, 400 yards, 400 yards, four touchdowns. Big, big game. And at the end, that he still didn't score that much despite having that massive game. Puka showed up, but the rest of his team didn't do that well. 3 points from his kicker, who missed a shit ton of kicks. He made one kick out of five, four kicks, one out of
Yeah, and
four.
they they cut him this week. They cut him as soon as he did it. They were done with him,
Hmm.
and he done over there. And then it starts Ingram over Hunt. I still don't understand that one. Hunt's not like he's scoring a lot of points, but
Yeah, that's the
um,
big one for me. I mean, Hunt
I mean,
was still getting volume last week. He got volume last week, and it seemed like he was going to get more this week. But Ingram got volume last week too, which see 10 carries. That's yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
well, Little Willie gonna finish it up with the Chalupa and House of Prism. This week Little Willie plays Chalupa, so looking at Chalupa's team, she had a good week from Cousins, and Golf had a good week as well. Well, he didn't have a great week, I guess, but it's gonna come down to if Brown and her stacks are really working, and this week they were working, but that just shows you how a little weak her team is. I mean, granted, she had a bunch of guys on bye this week with Pollard who will start, and Metcalf is out, and so maybe her team will be a little bit better. But I think this is one of her best weeks as far as points. And if you look at Pre Prism, I think his team is just starting to hit that stride. I think
Yeah.
you were right last week when I was listening to the pod that that whole trade that you made is going to really help him, which I don't like you for that because he's in my division. I don't want him to be good, so that didn't help with little Willie. So I don't like that. But you're right. The Olave trade, or getting the wide receiver he needed is going to really help him as he goes forward this year. And Carr and Stafford had decent games, and he won pretty easily because it was 6-2 and touchdowns as well.
I believe he was the top scorer of the week, so he gets the $15 too.
Mm.
Great game.
It
Uh,
was really close. I mean, the whole league was in that 190s. The oh no, that's right.
yeah, the
Just Little Willie's game
170s.
was in the 190s. That's right. Little Willie's
Yeah.
game 190s still lost. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, one, two, three, four, five, six teams. Half the league scored one under 170 this week. So
Crazy.
everybody was right there. It was just mattered to who you were up against, I guess. Let's go ahead and look forward to next week. My game is up here first in my screen, so I'm just gonna start off with that one. We got Guillotine versus Campbell Soup. And there's a no bye week, by the way. Did you know that the NFL has no bye weeks this week?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, they had like 6 bye weeks last week, and now it's zero for this week because that makes sense. Um, yeah, I'm projected to win by 11 points, but I feel like I'm the top projected team every single week, and I never get it. What
Yeah,
do you
the
think, Little
flea
Willie?
flicker loves you some Brock Purdy, and I know he has some good games, but I think that Brock Purdy's going to start slowing down a little bit just because the matchups are going to be tougher, and Cincinnati this week. And granted, Cincinnati's defense ain't great, but I think they're going to rely on the run a lot, and so the last couple weeks Purdy hasn't been like humongous points,
He
so I
hasn't
think
been
that's pretty
great.
nice.
I think what I said a couple of weeks ago is ringing true. This offense really needs Debo Samuel. When he's hurt, this offense just doesn't score as many points. Um, which is really hurting my team and my Purdy Ayuk stack. But I have a lot of faith in my team this week. Herbert's got a great game against Chicago, and I think that will carry. I think I'm good on that side.
And I think you'll know what you're up against because you got Josh Allen and Diggs. They play Thursday night,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
will you see a huge game? Will you not? I mean, the Bucks aren't really good, so
No, they've been struggling.
that you'll know exactly what's going on. And for me, of course, mine's at the top left. My game against Slupa, it's showing that it's going to be a murder. I'm going to kill her. It really is like the worst. Like her team is pretty bad. I mean, granted, she hasn't put her real starters in. Pollard's going to play instead of probably Justice Hill. But if Metcalf can't go, I don't I don't see her starting Brooks. Sorry, not Brooks. Cooks. Maybe she starts Cooks. I mean, she's got two kickers. Maybe she understands the reality of what's going on. But Lil Willie decided to get rid of Detroit and go to Minnesota. Probably going to be a bad choice. Minnesota probably going to have a bad game and he scores 0 points again. We'll see. But I like my team. My team is very strong. Up through down in the bench. So I feel like my team is the best team in the league by far. If you can't, the murderer's road of Thielen, Brown, Chase, Pickens, you're in trouble.
Yeah, Thielen's showing up big time, and so is Brown lately as well. Let's go look at Martial Law. My constant diarrhea. Martial Law is projected to win by 16 points. Um, and let's see if yeah, that is basically their best rosters are already in. It looks like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
do you see anything on these matchups that would make this any different? I mean, Kyle needs a kicker. Once he puts a kicker in, it would actually be spot on. They'll be right next to each other.
Yeah, my only thoughts are Moiser. He against New England. New England's getting the defense is actually playing well in New England. So I think that's over projected. a little bit, and playing three running backs. I just don't understand it in this league. You know, maybe
Same.
he can show it to me, but I just don't see it.
This
I'd rather
one
him
doesn't make
start
sense.
Judy or somebody like that instead. But hey, Robert won last week. I lost. I understand it. You do what you do. I think Kyle's gonna win this week. I don't want him to win, but I think he.
Yeah, yeah. Once Kyle puts in a kicker, this whole thing changes. But the whole problem with Kyle's team again is these two running backs. Like it's just not good. It's just not a good situation to be in. Maybe he starts Royce Freeman and Royce Freeman has a better game, but this is just not a good running back situation. That's I give it to Marshall Law because the running back situation on Kyle's side is so bad.
Well, I'm gonna look at the Magic School Bus and House of Priya Prism. Obviously Gary doesn't put his team in, but I think Gary's gonna win this week. I think Gary is hitting that stride, and it's really for Gary. It's all about who he starts, obviously, and that's like every week. But if he's talking about like he's got so many guys like myself that he could start, Evans and Warner and Pacheco and Harris. He can start a bunch of guys and really mess with his lineup. But I still think that he's got it this week if he plays the full wide receivers that we've been seeing.
Uh, yeah, I really like Magic School Bus. The team has been really good. Mahomes is finally kicking it in. C.J. Stroud, has been a great young quarterback. It's he's learned his lesson. He's gonna start Kareem Hunt this week. Um, but the real problem with this team is those wide receivers and Samuel Debo going down is what really is hurting this team.
And
Maybe
if
he
he
could
didn't have Puka, his team would be bad. It would
on the
be
wide
in rough
receivers.
shape.
Yeah,
Yeah, rough shape.
yeah. I really do think this is going to be a really close game, and it's a toss up. It's really a toss up. I feel like this league is like so close so often. But I'm gonna give the Magic School Bus slightly better chances to win just because I really like his quarterbacks and quarterbacks score so many points. Let's go ahead and look at elderly gangbang, erectile dysfunction. Elderly gangbang is 5-2. EDs at 3-4. He's got Watson in his lineup. Um,
Yeah, but I don't think he just has got his lineup set yet. But
yeah.
I think he'll go with Matt Jones, even though I it's like who's better. I mean, I obviously he's better right now, but is he that good? I think so. Uh, could he get Montgomery back this week? That'd be interesting if he does. And does Roshan take snaps from Foreman in Chicago? I don't know, but I I see that this team is going to struggle if Addison is still that number one. I mean, he
Yeah.
looked
He looked good.
really
He
good,
looked
and
really
if you
good.
talk about him and Waddle and Pittman, who Pittman had a terrible game, and then he caught like a 60-yard touchdown pass at the end to get him his points. So
Hmm.
I think that this team and Tua having a bounce back week for
Yeah.
him, and Prescott's not in the lineup yet.
Yeah. He's
So
gonna put
I
Prescott in the
mean,
lineup as well.
I would say that unfortunately, Holden's going to win this week because I'm not very happy with him at all.
Yeah, I think elderly gangbang takes this one. I'm with you on that one.
And then the last game was, with D Haas and Victor. I've already said everything I could say about Victor's team. They're bad. They're really bad, and they're gonna lose this week. I wonder if he'll break the 130 that they say. I mean, his team is just awful. They're really bad, and if you look at it, the people that could go in for him, they're not good either. So he really is struggling. It's really come down to injuries on D Haas side. If Ford goes, if he doesn't go, if Sanders gonna go. So his running backs are his detriment going into this week, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I can ever pick spreading the diseases to win a game this season. It's gonna have to be something special. It's just the team is just too bad. Though Dehas has been struggling lately. Um, he has not been putting up the best games the last couple of weeks. But you know, I still think this is a good team. He's just hit a small rough patch and he'll get through it. Want to look at standings real quick?
Sure, sure. Let's go.
Um, yeah, we got the Walters division here, 5-2, 5-2, 3-4, 3-4. Real close, you guys, on that side. Boy, that's rough. And Kyle's like the one team that doesn't deserve to be there, but he's been the luckiest team in the league. Um, we'll see if that sticks throughout the entire time. But it has tough division. House of Prayer Prism started out rough, and he's now bounced back real well. 3 game win streak. What do you think about your division?
Well, it comes down to if you look at points for, Little Willie's team is the number one point scorer in this whole league, and he's getting scored on the most as well. So, well, not the most, but
No,
uh,
me.
just just unlucky. I'd say it's unlucky in the weeks, but I think that's why it gives me hope that I will be making that thing. And I agree with you that I think Kyle's in trouble. But right now, this division and the Donnies are going to get 3 people in, I think. And it really going to matter on if it's Kyle's going to be the second one or the third one, and if maybe you can make a run to get into the seventh spot.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, actually. I think there's going to be 3 people from the Walters and 3 people from the Donnies are going to get in, which is why I'm really desperate to win my division. I think that's the only way I get in because, yeah, it's between you and House of Prayer Prism are 2 really good teams that are 3-4. And then we got Loud Noises and Martian Law 4-3 and 3-4 that are also going to be competing. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard. I really what I hope for is that at the end of the year, you guys just on the final rivalry weeks, the final 3 weeks of the regular season, you guys beat yourselves up, and maybe I can squeeze in a seventh. But yeah, my real chance is to win this division where the top 2 teams are 3-4. I'm only 1 game behind. Um, I just need to start winning out, and maybe I can take this division and make it in on this side. Because let's be honest, the dudes division has been really weak. Nobody here is scoring 1,300 points, or is at 1,300 points for the season. We're all in that 12-30 range. And the real good teams in this league are all scoring 1,300. So yeah, it's not looking good over here on the dudes. Well, the Donnies has Skull Bus, Elderly Gangbang, real strong teams, and Loud Noises and Martial Law are competing. So yeah,
I mean, it is really possible that, granted, I know we beat each other up, but it is really possible the Walters has 4 teams in the playoffs, and you see maybe 2 from the Donnies and maybe 1 from the dudes winning the division. Because I don't see House of Prism losing anytime soon. It's really going to be up to the 2 guys above me in Diary because I don't think I'm going to lose as well. So I feel like it could be a switcheroo where myself and Pre Prism are 1 and 2, and those 2 are bottom 2.
yeah, that would be crazy if you get 4 from the same division sneaking in. That would be absolutely nuts. Well,
But we'll see.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
see.
see. We'll see. Well, I think we're hitting up that 30-minute mark, so I think this is a good time to call it.
Sounds
Thank you
good.
so much for listening, watching, everybody. The SFL. We love
Good.
you.
Little Willie out. He's ready to go.
Bye bye.